Biological resources, 0. Heart rate, off the charts. My muscle glycogen reserves are completely depleted. In my past life, I complained about office chairs. Right now, I would give up all my savings for that old, healthy body. And where do you think you're going? Got you, you little bastard. I braced myself with a sharp stone, but the old man moved instantly. His staff sliced through the air. A dull thud. The brute collapsed to his knees, his weapon flying away, while the next man was instantly subdued. You don't think like a child. There is experience in your eyes. What is your name? Iron Everfall. Well, in the forest, the brave are eaten last. Come along. 2 moons hung in the sky. One massive and silvery, the second smaller and copper red. How did a system like this maintain stability? That's your spot. Tomorrow, you start earning your bread. Listen, old man. You swung that staff entirely too fast. What did you use? Magic, or more precisely, mana. He extended his palm, and the air above it began to ripple. Localized alteration of the refractive index. It's everywhere. It permeates you, the stones, the trees. But your body, it doesn't hold a charge. Careful. If you try to release too much without preparation, your veins will simply vaporize. Why do I know this much physics? I wasn't a genius in my previous world. Hey, will to live, what is going on here? Unavailable? Fine then. This actually makes it more interesting. Morning in Zeno's shack was unbearable. Gray mist seeped through the cracks in the decaying logs, settling on my face. My body ached. Every joint shrieked. Why did you even bother waking up? I remembered being a hardcore geek in my past life. I spent my time holed up in a garage, buried in textbooks. I even burned a hole in the carpet trying to build a makeshift capacitor. Get up. Yesterday you survived because you were quick on your feet. Today, we see if you're capable of controlling mana. Close your eyes. Do not look to the external world. Look inside yourself. There is a warm, golden spark that comforts the heart. I closed my eyes, but I had no intention of looking for a golden light. I began constructing a model in my head. I don't feel anything. The sensation was bizarre. It was a sharp, searing vibration. The air above my palm grew thick and tacky. Don't rush. Fear is a poor insulator for the soul. Let it go. Allow the spark to ignite. Insulator. I seized upon the word. Gritting my teeth, I felt my skill, the will to live, respond with a low hum. I began to compress the particles. Arc. A sharp spike of pain pierced my hand. I snapped my eyes open. Zeno recoiled, nearly dropping his staff. Where's the light? Where's the form, boy? Why? Why is it humming like that? No sane person acts like this. In my world, they used to say, if you can't explain a process, you don't truly master it. Tomorrow we try 2 sparks. But if you unleash this hell again, I will cast you out into the woods. Find a balance. I nodded, feeling reality begin to blur as the exhausting backlash of the compressed mana took its toll on my frail body. Ugh, a rat chewing on my boot. Even my footwear has given up on me. Out, you pest. The 15-year-old sat up, his body protesting with every movement. His right hand was a ruin of yellow-red scabs. Alive? I've seen failures and geniuses, but madness like that? Don't do it again. What difference does it make if it worked? Goal achieved. I need to master 2 sparks today. Listen to the mana. Don't force it with brute strength. Just guide it, boy. The will to live, okay. Imagine a reservoir. Open the floodgate. Just let it flow. Now, the left. Oh no, my focus is fracturing. It feels like my brain is overheating. Hold it. Do not compress the streams. Separate them. Easy for him to say. My veins feel like they're about to burst. I have to balance it. I can't, it's too much. The backlash. You have willpower to spare, boy, but you don't know how to divide your mind. Go to the creek. Cool your hands. My knees are shaking. I need to cool down. Is it possible to survive in a place like this? The water is freezing. It feels so much better now. Wait, what was that sound? Something massive moved in the brush. The air turned suffocatingly heavy. Will to live. It's the only thing keeping me standing. Magic here is just the manipulation of environmental density. A wet crunch in the bushes. Danger is coming. My instincts are already screaming. A monstrous creature burst from the ferns, its eyes glowing a dull, toxic green. Will to live, activate. I focus all my energy right beneath its paws. The ground gave way. Mid-leap, the beast was violently slammed into the mud by an overwhelming, artificial G-force. Efficiency, acceptable. But my body is already hitting its absolute limit. The triumph was short-lived. A second, larger wolf bristling with jagged bone spikes burst from the thicket. My fingers are locked in a savage cramp. The energy is backfiring, frying my own nerves. Why am I doomed to this? I can't even lift a hand. Is this the end? Suddenly, a massive shockwave shattered the air. A wall of energy swept past. Sloppy. Too many unnecessary movements. Weight distortion? You nearly killed yourself with that little trick. Your body is not a bottomless well. Why waste energy on a fireball when you can just drop the target? Drag it to the cabin. Today we skin it. You'll need decent armor made from these plates. Every step sends pain through my burned palms. But I need a weapon. I need strength to survive. This life is an unprofitable project. The risk is too high. In my past life, everything was stable. Then why do I keep fighting? Biological wear, critical. Calibration required. I just need to figure out how to make this pathetic collection of bones and meat keep moving. Still breathing? You were wheezing. You can't abuse mana like that, kid. It's a river. Swim in it. Don't shove the flow through a needle. The vessels are too narrow. Heart is too weak. Will to live. High-frequency vibration. I'm breaking down the meat into amino acids right here. Again, will you ever learn to wait? Why do I feel like she's here? Oh, fine. Just got lost in thought. The bone wolf hide has become my first real armor. I embedded the wolf's bone plates, overlapping them like scales within stabilized mana. Too complicated. A regular mana shield is more reliable. That drains energy. This system is passive. I'm saving my strength for what matters. Target neutralization. I need data on regeneration. Small game dies too quickly to measure tissue recovery. A troll lives past the black pines. Go. Thank you. I've mastered acoustic interference for silent steps. Mass, 2 tons. Skin, reinforced rubber. Direct strike is useless. I'll exhaust myself. All I need to do is crash his system. Slide under his limb. I induce cavitation inside the major vessels. Internal pressure spikes, tearing veins apart from the inside out. Target, protein denaturation in nervous tissue. Method, local induction heating using mana. I destroy the new neural pathways faster than they stabilize. The momentum passes through the armor. Internal fractures. Darkness at the edges of my vision. My thermal attack fried his cerebellum. Regeneration is just accelerated synthesis. And synthesis doesn't survive destructive resonance. Neural impulses ceased. If regeneration can be broken, then so-called immortality is either limited or it's just an unsolved problem. After the fight with the troll, my world narrowed down to the dirty ceiling of Zeno's cabin. Every breath echoed with a sharp, stabbing flash of pain. Stay down. If you stand up now, your ribs will just fall apart again. My magic only stitched the edges. Biological degradation, 38%. Localized inflammation. Severe energy deficit. Ugh, my body is completely falling apart. Yesterday, when you fought that mountain of meat, your magic was incredibly strange. You called it the will to live? It's just a survival mechanism. The body reacts faster than the mind. It optimizes processes. Optimizes. You almost burned up from the inside. Don't use it again. 3 days passed. Then, my heightened acoustic sensitivity picked it up. Rhythmic clanking metal. Heavy boots. 2 miles away. We had guests. Stay put. Hunters. Looking for anomalies. After what you pulled with the troll, the forest is radiating magic. They won't just pass by. Option 2, obviously. I activated the will to live on the lowest setting. Acoustic anti-phase. Every step canceled out the sound of dry leaves. There was a powerful surge here. Old man, have you seen anything unusual around this cabin? Nothing but my gout, gentlemen. A troll dropped dead around here recently. It's rotting now. Maybe that's your radiation? One hunter turned toward the ferns. My heart raced. I forced myself to slow down. Redirected my energy. Suppressed my heartbeat. Lowered my temperature. Clear. The signal has dissipated entirely. Most likely just residual radiation from the beast. Let's move out. When they left, my body trembled violently. A thin trickle of blood ran from my nose. The will to live was tearing me apart. What are you doing out here? Sigh. Hiding right under their noses using mana as a silencer. Good idea. Now crawl inside. You have to skin that troll. The will to live is not a gift. It's a curse. Funny, in my past life, I was also killed by the very thing I couldn't live without. Oh, the skill is still trying to stitch up my damaged innards, but my body lacks the resources. The world is spinning. Biological wear, 35%. Temperature above normal. Critical glucose deficit. I feel like an old, breaking down machine right now. Awake. Yesterday, while I was patching you up, you were raving with such enthusiasm. Damn, I hope I didn't let slip anything extra about my past. The lab, calculations, experiments. Just Groundhog Day. About that, will to live of yours. If you keep optimizing your life like this, one fine day your heart will stop completely. It's the only way to survive here. Hunters, wolves, trolls. Without this skill, I would have died on the very first day. Maybe so, but yesterday you nearly fried your own brain suppressing your aura. You blasted mana so hard your eye vessels popped. Enough lounging around. We're going to learn how to control your skill. You activate it, and it takes full control. Be the admin, not the user. The old man was picking up my lexicon quickly. Quiet. Minimum threshold. 1% power. Even less. Don't push it. Just direct the mana into your fingertips like a thin cobweb. My muscles trembled faintly. I could feel every cell screaming. Faster. Stronger. Sweat flooded my eyes. but I let the internal barrier relax. And then, reality broke. I was in an endless white room. No shadows. Just a glowing silhouette filled with soft yellow light. Too early. The system is not ready. You absolute idiot. I told you don't push. You nearly crossed the threshold. One more second, and you were gone. I saw a room, a white void. Tomorrow, we start making the armor from the troll plates. Learn to use a spoon first. In my past life, I didn't know how to stop either. An incredibly mysterious world, just the thing for an engineer. 3 months. Enough time to adapt to the strain or burn out completely. My body chose to adapt out of sheer stubbornness. Ribs, intact, mobility normal. Vessels of the left arm, slight burning, likely a micro tear from yesterday's resonance. Pulse, 58 beats per minute. The will to live no longer wails like a siren. It hums quietly in the background. My mentor acts as my external controller now. Your flow is still too unstable. You waste too much energy fighting your own tremors. Relax. If you overheat steel, it becomes brittle. If I relax, I'll lose control of the gradient. No, you'll lose the fear. Fear forces your system to operate at maximum wear. I've grown lean and wiry. My vessels can handle currents that would have incinerated my veins on day one. And the armor is ready. Not all tests went smoothly. A couple of weeks ago, I found a mana vortex and tried to neutralize it via interference. The system errored out. Instead of collapsing, the vortex sucked my mana back and threw me against the rocks. One more experiment like that, and I'll bury you under that pine tree. Mana isn't an equation, kid. It's a force of nature. Math works everywhere. If magic exists in this world and obeys rules, it can be calculated and written down in formulas. Frozen again? When you freeze like that, it looks like you're not even breathing. Counting all the gears in your head, running a defragmentation. In my coordinate system, protection isn't just the thickness of the material. It's how you distribute the force. The bone redirects energy along a tangent. Vectors, angles. Just make sure they don't play a cruel trick on you. Go inside. It'll be dark soon. We ate in silence. The thick lentil stew was bland but hot, melting the remnants of the day's tension and magical strain. Daily biological wear, 8%. Regeneration initiated. System stable. Tomorrow, the real work continues. After months in the forest, returning to people didn't feel like a triumph. Just a forced relocation. Listen carefully. They don't like fuss here. Magic is a job. Teamwork. The village was grim. Stone, wood, and clear defensive lines. Halt. Zeno, brought another wild one, have you? He's stable. He wants to observe your methods and trade. Stable? We'll see about that. He radiates strange, suppressed energy. The task is simple. Last a minute. We won't kill you. Just test your structure. I activated Will to Live at 15%. Analysis mode engaged. The younger hunter lunged. I shifted my gravity, redirecting the trajectory of his shoulder with my forearm. Not bad at all. The second mage released a sharp compression of air. I instantly redistributed the tension in my legs to maintain grip. I stepped forward to break his rhythm, but the leader intervened. He simply snapped his fingers. My entire body became heavy. A suppression technique. My skill screamed about an overload, and I dropped to one knee. Enough. You lost, kid. You have speed, but against coordinated pressure, you're a zero. Conclusions need to be drawn. He didn't panic. Most self-taught types start throwing magic blindly. He went all the way knowing it wouldn't work. Over the next few days, I watched them work. I tried to replicate their mana suppression techniques through my armor. Testing a combined mode, the mana battered my internal organs instead of flowing. The system went into emergency shutdown. Darkness. I woke up to the sharp smell of burnt grass. Every rib ached. I just wanted to optimize the process. Optimize what's already there. Your will is your foundation. Train it. Lesson learned. I focused on micro adjustments instead of grand distortions. Take this background analyzer. It shows mana density within a 10-meter radius. Useful for hidden anomalies. Thank you. I'll find a use for it. It was a strange feeling. This homemade cuirass tightly hugged my torso. One wrong move, and the edge of a rigid bone plate would dig straight into my ribs. Well, tight in the shoulders? Are you sure your will won't burn you out before this hide saves you? Let's go. The forest is livelier today. Perfect time for a test. The further we went from the cabin, the denser the air became. I physically felt the mana pressing against my eardrums. The birds fell silent. It smelled of ozone and rotting leaves. Will to Live responded with a sharp impulse. The system warned of an extreme threat. It flickered constantly, its contours blurred like a glitch in the matrix. Movement vectors are unstable. Time thickened around me. It moved via micro-teleportations, covering the distance in jagged bursts. I thrust my left forearm forward to brace. The impact was powerful. The armor held, but something shifted inside. Critical load on the left sector. Armor integrity at 82%. Mobility is compromised. I needed to catch it at the moment of stabilization. I pressed my back against the tree, building up pressure in my palms. Come on then. At the exact instant it leaped, I released the accumulated mana in a focused vibration. The creature slammed into an invisible barrier and crumbled into black flakes. Deactivation. System reboot. The skill wouldn't obey. My body was locked in survival mode. Stress hormones flooded my brain. My temperature kept rising uncontrollably. Iron. Vent the pressure. Enough. He struck his staff against the ground. The vibration passed through my boots, breaking the rhythm of the panic. You're burning up. Being in a state of constant war with yourself is a heavy burden. If you don't find balance, you'll become an anomaly yourself. Just like that wolf. Once inside the cabin, I stripped off the damaged armor. It needs to be remade. You hate your own weakness. That's dangerous. But I won't leave you alone, rookie. The night wouldn't recede. I woke up from a sudden jolt. Outside, not a sound. No screaming. No sharp pain in my muscles. Just a very unsettling feeling. I sat up on the floor, pressing my palms against the cold floorboards. My joints responded stiffly, with an internal creak, reluctantly obeying the command. Pulse, 65. Mana, thick, slowly circulating. Will to live was active, but something was fundamentally wrong. I felt like a part machine too precisely. You rarely wake up before dawn. I know the skill is still active, but differently. Before, it would quiet down. But now it's just buzzing. Most likely because, for the first time, you let it in deeper than you should have. If I suppress it, I might simply not get up from this floor. I try not to hold on, just to be human for a single second. The current inside me jolted. The safety system was screaming, warning, critical damage detected, activating protective protocol. I didn't let it pass a certain mark. The pain became crystal clear. Panic flared in my chest. I'm not dying. The world changed. Sounds became louder, chaotic. Smells intensified. I was terrified as my legs shook, knees buckling, grabbing the edge of the table. There it is. You. The real you. Unadorned. I've become weaker. You've become honest. Now you know your true worth. Hours passed. The sun rose over the black pines. Before me lay the armor, warped, with burst sinews and a deep crack in the bone plate. Drink this. I began to slowly cut away the ruined sinews, realizing the armor needed to absorb inertia, not just block it. I carved out new shapes. The bone plates were no longer tightly strapped down. They floated on an intricate weave capable of shifting upon impact. My body ached, but the armor possessed a logic I had ignored. Let's see how you perform in action. Light was only just starting to break through the thick, intertwined branches of the black pines when I stepped out. Today the choice is yours. Strength decides nothing. You decide. Then the forest fell silent. An anomaly. The temperature dropped sharply, and frost crystallized instantly. From behind a fallen tree, a vortex of gray smoke burst forth. The beast closed the distance with a sudden spring. Not now. The first strike came from the side. A shadow paw with elongated, translucent claws slammed down onto my left shoulder. A vibration shot through my collarbone. For a fraction of a second, I almost gave up. The pain was too intense. No. I shoved the skill back and took a clumsy step backward. Its claws slashed through the air a millimeter from my chest. It won't kill you if you calculate it. Concentration. Breathing. I directed mana outward, forcing the beast to miscalculate. At the peak of its leap, I thrust my right hand forward, sharply changing the air density. I caught the moment and delivered a kick just below its back knee, slamming it into the damp grass. Strength doesn't save you. A person saves themselves. You control yourself. Breathe. Just breathe. It leaped a third time, aiming higher at my throat. I let it get close. I raised my right hand and released the accumulated pressure. The beast was sucked into this vacuum pocket, tearing apart. The entity dissolved into the air, leaving behind nothing but a scorched patch of moss and a sharp smell of ozone. Feel it. I feel it. Is this how you always give support? That is what life is, Iron. Dirty, crooked, and painful. Only to those who have a chance of surviving. Then consider me lucky. Don't flatter yourself. That was a warm-up. Let's go. A gray needle root grows nearby. A week on the road. My new bone plate armor works flawlessly. We're close to the target. We need to pass through the blind sector. Kyle. You brought a kid? We're heading to the pulsator. Why do we need this dead weight? He reads anomalies faster than your amulets. Rena. He's no kid. Fine. If you fall behind, we leave you. Got it. My mind instantly synchronized with their combat formation. Heads up. Distorter ahead. A chaotic mass of shifting geometric planes and sparking arcs drifted out of the fog. Lock it down. To the left. The assembly point shifted 15 degrees. You're hitting a phantom. The kid's right. Finish it, Kyle. Kyle lunged, his sword flashing white as he struck the core. Bram and Rena, hold the perimeter. I'll drive the stabilizing pin into the center. Kid, watch the flows. The pressure was immense. Suddenly, The pulsator discharged. Rena's grid snapped, Bram fell, and Kyle was thrown backward. Warning. Environment unstable. Use me as a shunt. Dump the excess through my channels. My bone plates clicked, absorbing the colossal energy. The dampers kept my spine from shattering. Strike now, Kyle. Kyle scrambled up and drove the heavy pin into the pulsing core. A bright flash, then total silence. How are you alive? That current should have turned you to ash. I could only give a thumbs up. That could have killed you. Are you out of your mind? I calculated the risk. We wouldn't have survived. Rational son of a bitch. There's a long road ahead. So annoying. Sleep. You'll need your strength. We thought we had sealed the pulsator yesterday, but the pin failed. Today we went back. The mist thinned, leaving only damp air and ozone. I brought up the rear. My body refused to hurry. The will to live fell quiet. It was just silent. It unnerved me completely. Don't stare at the ground like it owes you something. Just thinking. Too much noise in my head. Expecting me to say great job? You did everything right, Iron. But if you think that makes things any easier, forget it. Control isn't a reward. What if I make the wrong choice one day? Then you'll learn the price. And believe me, you'll have to pay it alone. Why is that pulsator so stubborn? It pisses me off. We reached the camp. Kyle retreated instantly, and Bram collapsed on some branches. I sank to the ground, feeling the chill of the soil. 5 minutes later, my hands started to violently shake. The delayed physical reaction was hitting. I'll fix everything, just use me. Let me in, and you'll go back to normal. No, not now. Handle it yourself. I leaned forward, trying to breathe. Images flashed. What if the anomaly struck harder? What if Bram failed? Catastrophes outnumbered our successes. The exhaustion hit me like a solid wall. I started stripping off the heavy armor. The bone plates clinked, intact despite the brutal overload. I crawled into the tent, but sleep wouldn't come. A heavy thought hit me. What if I actually don't want to survive? Thinking about something again, Iron? Zeno? What are you doing here? Sleeping. But your loud thoughts are getting on my nerves. If something's eating at me, okay. Why did you take me in? Give me food, a place to stay, and start teaching me? You remind me of someone. Who? Let's just say, my first student. Before I could ask more, he drifted off. I lay there staring into the cold dark, sinking back onto the old bedding. A student, huh? I guess that makes sense. Morning mist clung to the pines. East, to the outpost. We need to patch up Bram's magical exhaustion. We're heading the other way. Unfinished business. All right. Take care, Iron. Brains like yours are rare out there. We hiked through an ancient, abandoned forest. Rusty rebar jutted from tree trunks. We're here. Zeno pressed a hidden ridge on a boulder. A heavy screech of hydraulics echoed. Welcome to the lower horizon. Dry warmth and machine oil rushed out. Everything here is mechanical. It feels ancient. Zeno, did you bring the stabilizers? Brought them, Gil. And a helping hand. A pipe blew. The background mana is skyrocketing. The temp is pushing 70, completely volatile. Want to try? Your armor has thermal insulation. I'll go. Give me a wrench. Scalding steam blasted my face. My skill flared, trying to block the pain. Not now. Stay back. I threw my weight into the wrench. The metal shrieked. Steady. The lever is a fulcrum. Applying steady pressure, the valve spun shut. The violent hissing finally stopped. He's alive. Pressure is dropping. Kid, impeccable timing. Zeno handed me a canteen. I hadn't fried my system. In the residential zone, they fed us a thick sludge. It tasted like salted cardboard. It's simpler here. It's clear what's broken. Something is always breaking down, no matter where you are. Sleep claimed me quickly. The lower horizon keeps its secrets. If you can endure it, you'll find answers. The smell of burnt insulation and bitter salve, that was all that remained of yesterday's victory. I lay on the cot, staring at my bandaged hands. My fingers felt like someone else's. Will to Live had literally reassembled my tissues. They'll be here in an hour. Richter isn't the type to give you time to recover. To him, you're a battery with limitless capacity. A battery? I've heard a lot of things about myself, but first and foremost, I'm an engineer. Zeno, I need to get to Gil's console. You can barely stand, Iron. Then drag me. We need to induce local resonance in the distributor to trigger an emergency flush. Gil's workshop was completely empty. I collapsed onto the terminal, my trembling fingers dancing across the keys inside their bandaged wrappings. System log, critical failure detected. Opening emergency flush valves. Come on, just a little more. Freeze. I am disappointed, Zeno. You are trying to break a tool that has just proven its invaluable utility. Iron, step away from the console. A new stage awaits you. You belong to the Order now. Richter, Will to Live isn't a gift. It's a curse. And right now, you're about to understand exactly why. The raw energy of the lower horizon flooded into the drainage system, instantly blowing out the magnetic locks. Run. We plunged into the darkness of the drainage pipe a split second before the entire workshop blew apart. Cold, chemical-laden water instantly soaked my skin. After half an hour of fighting the heavy current, we dragged ourselves out onto the surface. I lay on the wet grass, looking up. Never again. Never use yourself as a conduit. Do you hear me? Before, the Order was merely interested in you. But now, you're a threat. But we made it out. Why did all of this even start? If only I could have acted differently back then. 3 days ago, Sector Zero's technical tunnel was thick with hot steam, rust, and ozone. I hung from tethers, fighting a ruptured high-pressure mana pipe. Give me the 17 wrench. Take it. Watch your footing. The pressure is building fast. Done. I unclipped my carabiner and dropped heavily onto the metal platform. The reactor incident from yesterday still throbbed deep in my bones. Drink. You look like absolute hell, kid. Just about how I feel. Total emptiness inside. This skill scares me, Xeno. It operates like an emergency protocol, devouring all my internal resources, glucose, muscle, just to rebuild whatever gets broken. Everything has a price. Nothing comes free. A part of the mechanism. No, my dear Xeno. Far more than that. An hour later, in a private office smelling of old parchment, a shimmering magical projection hung in the air. Subject Iron demonstrates a unique form of adaptive regeneration. He acts as a living energy damper, channeling critical volumes of mana using his own body. I am reclassifying the subject to Alpha Group Resource. We will conduct a stress test under live combat conditions in Sector 4. If you survive, I have the perfect weapon. If you burn out, I get invaluable data. Take this to Master Vault immediately. Prepare a morning convoy. Deep in an abandoned collector shaft past the 5th sluice, the smell of damp rot filled the air. Tom was running out. You're taking a massive risk, Gerald. Risking? That's putting it mildly. Listen fast. Your engineer has been written off entirely. A dispatch just went to Vault. Iron is an Alpha resource now. They aren't going to protect him. They're using him as live bait. Tomorrow, they're sending him to the dead quarter against a shadow. They plan to throw him into the epicenter, just to see his limits. Don't leave his side for a single second. The Order is already sharpening its knives. He dissolved into the dark, leaving Xeno alone with the dripping water. I opened my eyes, and the first thing I noticed was a scent. Instead of the sterile, dry air of ventilation shafts or the heavy stench of workshops, I smelled damp earth. To anyone else, it would have been a miracle, but to me, it felt like coming home. I finally had soil and roots beneath my feet, not concrete and metal. You son of a arg. The idol shattered the moment I tried to take a breath. Back with us. How long was I out? A couple hours. You started getting delirious, so I called a halt. My throat felt raw. I was terrified. It felt like Richter was still watching me through some invisible lens. Xeno, we ruined it ourselves, didn't we? About my skill, how it works. What are you talking about? We laid it all out for him. Richter eavesdropped on our conversation. A sickening knot tightened in my stomach. Walls have ears took on a brutally literal meaning. A torrential downpour slammed into the forest. I let the torrent wash over my face. Kid, get up, move. We need shelter. What about your cabin? Can we make it there? You're smart, but sometimes incredibly stupid. The entire Order knows about my cabin. I work for them. They need to know where I am to send orders. Richter would have sent men there. So we have nothing? We have this godforsaken forest. Let's move. We'll figure out where to go on the way. The halls of the upper horizon never knew silence. A persistent hum of magical accumulators lingered like a disturbed swarm. So, the battery escaped. They used the utility drains, Master. The main breach occurred in the cooling circuit. I don't care about their plumbing, Richter. Subject Alpha is the key to stabilizing this sector. If the Council learns our most promising resource has vanished, we are ruined. I want Alpha alive. Everyone else, the old man included, is to be liquidated immediately. If standard patrols fail by sunset, unleash the hounds. One more thing. Check the internal security logs. Richter froze, his fingers instinctively tightening around the hidden recording crystal in his pocket. Meanwhile, deep in the forest, my knees buckled. I sat on a slimy log, staring at my fingers as they struggled not to shake. Give me a hand. I can't. Just stay put. You're better off taking my directions. If you stick those branches straight, the wind will collapse the shelter on us. Interlace them crosswise at the base. Distribute the load. Distribute the load, huh? All right. Layer the leaves from the bottom up, like shingles. The water rolls off instead of leaking inside. When it's a matter of survival, you learn quick. Suddenly, a sharp crack echoed. My ears hammered with the heavy pulse of my own blood. They're here. They found us. I strained my stiff neck, cold sweat breaking across my spine. But there was nothing. It's just the wind, Iron. Relax. Easy for you to say. I can literally feel them breathing down our necks. They are far behind us. Get inside. We need sleep. Tomorrow is going to be even rougher. While Iron and Xeno prepared to rest, the atmosphere high in the upper horizon grew deadly. Tell me, Gerald, do you take us for fools? No, Commander. I swear. The corridors of the fifth sluice seemed endless. Gerald's shift was over, and all he wanted was his cot. But two figures stepped silently from the shadows. Before he could cry out, they struck. Lord Richter, what is going on? I just got off my shift. Yes, Gerald. We know. At 2340, you abandoned your post. Why? I heard a noise in the ventilation. Just following protocol. Commendable. Except the concealed ether sensors registered 2 targets. You. And Zeno. Do you take us for fools? Richter's fist crashed into him with ruthless speed. The sharp blow snapped Gerald's head back, scattering crimson drops across the pristine desk. Where are they now? Tell me, or I'll cut out your tongue. Gerald just spat a wad of blood onto Richter's boot. Enough, Richter. Your emotions compromise your efficiency. Forgive me, Lord Master. He betrayed the system. A dead rat is useless, but a live one might lead us to our target. Keep him alive as bait. Tighten surveillance. Meanwhile, deep in the forest, I sat within the shimmering boundary of a magical dome. My battered body was finally healing. I used to be an engineer. Blueprints, coffee, normal life. Now I'm hiding from a magical inquisition in an alien world. Why? Yo, I see your skill is slowly waking up. I'm trying. What kind of beast is that? Zeno, tell me about your student. Who was she? Her name was Ryder. She tried to heal a broken world. I taught her to fight, but she went in as a peace mediator. And we know what happens to those caught between warring nations. This meat tastes like a boot sole. You're spoiled. The past is a swamp, Iron. Tomorrow at dawn, we move north toward the pass. Much further? My internal calculator says my bodily energy expenditures are at their absolute limit. Endure it. See how the air shimmers? That's the edge of the pass. The mana flows there are torn. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm capable of. The air briefly turns liquid when I focus. Careful. Smell that? Rot. This ravine is the perfect habitat for things that feed on fractured mana. Get ready. Massive, knotty bodies lunge from the thick fog. The distorted, their jagged talons slashed through the heavy air. Will to live, activate at minimum. I can push the space behind him, eliminating air resistance. An invisible shield of compressed air manifested. The beast's snout smashed into it with a sickening crunch. There's too many. Impact unavoidable. Momentum sufficient for cranial penetration. Is this really the end? Move. Don't just stand there, boy. The staff, saturated with humming magic, struck upward with blinding light. We move. The stench of this carrion will draw the rest. The pass is close. An hour later, the silence was shattered by heavy armor and the low hum of tracking amulets. The magical signatures are raw, but this etheric trail, it's highly unusual. The energy is far too pure. He's already begun manipulating motion vectors. Subject Alpha is adapting faster than we anticipated. How fascinating. All units, double the pace. We will pin them against the ridge. I won't let my creation escape. The air vibrated, physics glitching under the chaotic mana. If that kid wasn't lying, those distorted are a byproduct. What are you talking about? A byproduct? Just thinking out loud. The brain leaks when you get old. We need to move. If I'm just a burden you won't talk to, maybe I should go. You manipulative little bastard. Fine. Sit down. Years ago, a strange kid told me every horror crawling out of the mana rifts was a byproduct of the true Overlord's existence. His chaos mana is so dense it infects reality. He's the father of them all. And you believed him? That's just fairy tales. Look up, kid. We're here. This is your pass? It's just a forest, only a little more beat up. Look at how it functions. I see it now. The mana is jerking, collapsing. It hurts like hell. Meanwhile, the ravine below had turned into an absolute hellscape. Close ranks. Shields up. Arc. A four-armed beast closed the distance, silencing him instantly. Richter walked right through the carnage. Slender blades of pure mana spiraled around him, severing the limbs of any monster that dared draw near. He stepped over the fallen guards without looking down. His cold gaze was fixed entirely upward, toward the heights of the pass. Hundreds of miles away, Master Vault sat motionless before a gigantic magical sphere, its bluish light displaying the swarming enforcers below. Do you see Gerald? Beside him stood Gerald, bound in glowing chains, a seal of silence forced upon his lips. They walked willingly into a cage whose walls I have spent years building specifically for their kind. Soon, our grand design will become reality. And you, my dear guardsman, will watch it unfold from the very front row. My stomach twisted into a violent spasm. In this place, time flowed just as crookedly as the mana itself. We sat by a tiny campfire. It's done. Eat up. It's the only safe flesh you'll find around here. Well, a delicacy? Like licking a battery. But it's food. Zeno, doesn't this place strike you as weird? The structure. Nature is inherently chaotic, but the chaos here on the pass, it's too orderly. Like someone purposefully calibrated this noise to hide something. Think less, Iron. As long as this place keeps us hidden, That's all we need. Pack your things. Time to move. Meanwhile, at the border of the pass, the enforcer's perfectly synchronized stride broke against the invisible wall. Lord Richter, the tracking network, it's tearing apart. We can't even perceive the general flow of mana. This place. You are the Order's finest inquisitors. And you complain about noise? If your artifacts are useless, use your instincts. Search with your feet. The target couldn't have vanished into thin air. Fan out. 5 pace intervals. Comb every bush. Deep within the distorted forest, my heightened hearing caught a foreign sound. Click. My heart skipped a beat. He gripped my shoulder with an iron vice, crushing me. Not a sound. Out of the fog, a mere 10 paces away, 2 heavily armored enforcers materialized, moving slowly. Smell that? Smells like smoke. And some kind of roasted garbage in this fog. Zeno slipped out soundlessly. With a sharp crack, he snapped the first soldier's head backward and dropped the second in silence. Clear. I'm keeping their tokens as souvenirs. Let's move deeper into the noise before they start combing the area. We reached the midpoint, the heart of the pass. Dead pixels flashed across my vision. The droning in my ears was so dense it felt tangible. Every step was pure agony against the resisting mana. Quiet. On that stretch of fine gravel ahead, we'll sound like a herd of monsters if we aren't careful. Hold up, Zeno. I can try something. If I calculate the impulse of my foot striking the ground, I can generate an exact anti-phase magical wave. Mathematically, it was flawless. I stepped down. Crunch. It rang out like a gunshot in the dead silence. My knee flared with sharp pain. You absolute genius. Beautifully conceived, but out here, your logic only works half the time. My magic is instinct, Iron. Learn to breathe with this madness. Halt. The fog is dense here. Do you smell that? Mixed with the ozone and rot is the distinct tang of fresh blood. Lord Richter, it's our men, from the advanced scout detachment. They're completely torn apart. Look closely. Monsters were here, but they didn't cause the deaths. A broken neck, a ruptured skull base. This was Zeno's doing. They are incredibly close. Zeno is getting desperate. Pursuit unit, prepare for an accelerated push. Disregard caution. If monsters attack, burn them. We need subject alpha. I felt them before I heard them. Zeno reacted instantly, dragging me by the scruff of my neck into a narrow cleft between 2 sheer cliffs. 12 heavily armored Order officers emerged from the fog. Every perfectly synchronized step they took resonated through the ground with a heavy thud. We need to move. They're flanking us. If they trap us in this gorge, we're done for. Keep your head down and follow me. Zeno, do you feel that? The drone, the dead pixels, the chaotic flares of mana. Everything just vanished. I looked at the tree branch. It wasn't shaking. Zeno, don't you think the chaotic nature of the past just became completely normal? It seems you're right. The silence is absolute. No fracturing reality, just our breathing. Look, Iron. Something is forming in the empty space ahead. Be ready for anything. Out of the vortex floated a flawlessly smooth, glowing sphere. Inside it materialized a room bathed in warm lamplight. Master Vault's study. Gerald. No. You bastard, stop it. He has absolutely nothing to do with this. Oh, he has everything to do with this, my dear Zeno. The game of hide-and-seek is over. Surrender now, or he suffers. Zeno. Iron. Don't listen to him. Run deeper into the pass. To hell with me. Save the kid, Zeno. Run, Iron. Shut up. We're not leaving you, you idiot. We'll get you out. Wrong answer. No. We surrender. Do you hear me? Stop. But it was too late. The stiletto of light drove straight in. No. Gerald. The old man dropped to his knees. And inside me, something snapped. My brain issued a single command. Eliminate. Death to Zeno. Take subject alpha alive. Even if you have to break every bone in his body. Attack. Negative entropy. The air instantly dropped to critical temperatures. His armor cracked under thermal contraction. Localized alteration of the gravitational constant. Gravity spiked tenfold beneath them. The officers collapsed into the mud, crushed flat into the bedrock. It's over, old man. Stop. Take another step, and I'll slit my throat. Make your choice, Richter. Look at yourself. You won't do it, boy. Richter, belay the execution. Take them both. The plan has changed. Lucky for you, piece of filth. Drop the knife. Now. I open my fingers. The surviving enforcers immediately swarmed me, clamping heavy chains around my wrists. The iron wagon bounced violently, every jolt echoing with the heavy ringing of anti-magic steel shackles. We already got out of there once, Zeno. We will get out a second time. We are returning, and the lower horizon does not forgive those who leave. Outside, massive doors groaned open. The daylight vanished, swallowed by the belly of the mountain. A labyrinth of concrete and pulsating magical cables. The air was dry, choked with ozone and burnt oil. A twisted factory of magic. You made it back, prisoner. Beside the silver-haired commander stood a man I hated instantly. Supreme Mage Kane, devoid of any human emotion. Object Alpha, you have caused us a lot of trouble. Your physical anomalies almost destroyed the balance of several sectors. Take the mercenary to containment, and the object to Sector 0. Guards grab Zeno. He didn't even fight back. Listen to me, Iron. If you do not stabilize the reactor, I will personally see how many volts this old man can withstand before he dies. What a bastard. Sector 0 was thick and oily, bathed in a crimson glow. Remove his shackles. The heavy steel fell. Instantly, my suppressed power tore out from inside like a coiled spring. Hurry up. The reactor has a thermal runaway. The magical contour has entered an uncontrolled resonance. Too high kinetic energy. The entropy of the system is striving to a maximum. We will lower it. Second law of thermodynamics. Maxwell's demon. I force the mana flows apart. High energy to one side, low energy to the other. Mana burn my channels. Stabilize. Black spots swam in my vision. A taste of rusty iron filled my mouth, internal bleeding. It cost monstrous effort. The crimson glow vanished, replaced by an icy blue light. I collapsed, gasping. He survived. The reactor is intact. Move. Tomorrow we need you on the surface. I was dragged through the concrete corridors. Thrown into a cell, I collapsed onto the cot. The words echoed. You are just a tool. But I will survive. My head was splitting. The smell of burnt flesh lingered, but I felt better. The sharp edge of the bed frame looked tempting. I forced myself up. Every strap of my heavy hide armor felt like lead. Come on, bastard, work. Time to exit, Object Alpha. Master Kane is waiting. He pisses me off so much I forgot my pain. I am ready. The dead quarter sky was dirty gray. We rode in an open cart pulled by bony lizards, their hooves clattering like a funeral march. The shadow anchored in the old town hall. Your task is to enter head-on. Provoke it, absorb the impulse. We deliver the finishing blow. What about the refugees? There are no people, only garbage. Neutralize the anomaly. Everything else is a statistical error. Understood. Perfectly. As I stepped onto the broken asphalt, my skill squealed. Red target grids flared before my eyes. Direct magical discharge. Probability of collapse, 100%. I was ready to strike, but saw a small, grimy face in a ruined pharmacy window. Object strike. What are you waiting for? Local change of gravitational density. I drove my magical channels into the ground, forcibly increasing the mass of mana under the shadow. The shadow howled and lashed me with a dark appendage. Hot blood splashed onto the stones. I will not let you collapse everything. Kane, you old bitch. Strike into the center of the funnel, at a 45-degree angle. Now, or we all blow up. A blinding blue beam pierced the darkness. A massive rumble, and I was thrown through the air. The pharmacy still stood. Do you even understand what you have done? You violated protocol. Don't boil over, Kane. The main thing is the operation is accomplished. The shadow is destroyed. The mission is accomplished. Well played. Zeno placed his hand on my shoulder, quietly healing me. Dawn was terrible. The magical smog felt like lime dust. Every breath burned as they hauled me like defective cargo. The iron shackles sucked out my body heat. Yet, I wasn't afraid. The pure bloodlust inside me provided a strange, comforting warmth. You can't even imagine how much I want you to twitch. Give me a reason to bypass Kane's protocols. Save yourself, kid. Run without looking back. My escape equals your end. You can do this. Let's meet in freedom. The cart jerked toward the whispering rocks. The only anchor to reality was the dull glint of Richter's weapon. In the central block, Kane will erase your willpower. You'll obey, but inside will be absolute silence. I honestly envy you. We entered the canyon. The suppressing field glitched against the mountain's chaotic energy. Slowly, I slipped Zeno's hidden fragment into the lock. Hey, I said do not move. Show your hands, scum. Richter lunged forward, raising his weapon for a heavy strike. The cart jolted into a crevice, throwing him off balance. My lock jammed. I intentionally snapped my own thumb to force leverage. The heavy iron parted. Mana instantly surged. Richter piled on top of me, his heavy armor pinning me to the floor. He delivered precise, brutal strikes. The pain was immense, but my skill forcibly reshaped my neural pathways, letting me ignore it entirely. I whipped my chain around his leg, twisting the joint, and locked my fingers on his throat. What's going on back there? Your order will burn. I drove his weapon's hilt into his visor, stepped back, and fell straight into the foggy void. The icy wind rushed past. Then, impact. The kinetic energy smashed my shoulder, and my vision faded to absolute pitch black. I spat out dirty silt, crawling over mossy stones. If Richter had his full arsenal, nothing would be left of me. I lay in the silt. My face was sinking into the black sludge. My left arm was mangled. Attention. Left shoulder, joint destruction. Right leg, laceration. Current core temperature, 34.2 degrees. Probability of lethal outcome, 87%. Shut up. How much longer can this body function before entropy takes its toll? Zeno's face flashed in my head. I hope you are free. No, Zeno is alive. He is definitely alive. The magic barely responded. The biological budget was depleted. I had to move. I found sphagnum moss near the roots. It's a good thing I studied this in my past life. Attention. External impact on the affected area. Risk of septic shock, 12%. Hemostasis achieved. My stomach twisted. The emptiness hurt more than the shoulder. Devour my muscles. Just give me 500 meters. A click. They are close. The rangers are sifting through the territory. Lower the heart rate. Minimum 30 beats. Lower the temperature of the peripheral blood vessels. A gray shadow floated past in the fog. The soft step of a boot. I felt like the luckiest person. The dead swamps. Toxic gases. My consciousness began to split. Zeno? Is that you? A huge carcass moved parallel to me. I commanded the skill to shut off my blood flow. To its vision, I disappeared. System is entering hibernation mode. Energy consumption reduced to 5%. Time until failure. Unknown. Repeat. Sector of Whispering Rocks. Subject Iron made a jump into the canyon. Richter is heavily wounded. And Zeno disappeared. The alarm did not trigger, my lord. You brought me news that we lost both the tool and the hostage in one day? Get on the search for Zeno. Turn over the entire technical wing. Gut every master, but find him. And Subject Alpha? Pursuit groups are already in the canyon. The world is crimson. My eyes burst capillaries. I need to find herbs or clay. Hydrogen sulfide, deep soil. Smell of iodine, shield leaf. Firmer ground. Chemistry, the only magic that doesn't need mana. I'm sculpting a new form. Well, look at that. How did you stay alive in such a condition? Your stove, in the hovel. Damper is clogged. You will poison yourself in a week. Half dead, and still giving advice. All right, let's go. Call me Ephraim. I'm in a hut. Walls hung with dry herbs, skulls, and mechanisms. It's safe for now. That crystal has reverse resonance. Shift the third coil to the right. By 0.5 millimeter. Who are you? Such brains at your age. That's gold. Iron. Iron Everfall. Let's make a deal. The second awakening was worse than the first. Adrenaline had faded, leaving only a body that rebelled against my very existence. Every cell, they feel like they are burning. Time to get up. Oh, easy. Endure. Just a little left. My hand was a wreck. Pink, oozing flesh, necrosis, the scent of rot hanging thick in the air. System, status report. The liquid hit the wound like molten fire. Ack. Endure, kid. Wanna eat? Well, we had breakfast. Now it's time for work. He cleared the table, tossing the bowls aside. On the wood lay a heavy, ominous steel safe embossed with the order's crest. This is a field communication safe. Protection class B2. It's trapped, Ephraim. Hit it, and we turn to ash. And how do you propose we open it then? See the swirl on the right? Insert the needle 3 millimeters. Feel resistance, freeze. How do you see this, kid? Focus. Stop. Shift to the left by a hair. Hours dragged on. Fatigue gnawed at me like a physical weight, but we were close. Now the clamp. Pull the central rune, slowly. The lock surrendered with a hiss, releasing a cloud of cold, pressurized vapor. Mine. Stop. Touch that crystal, and you die. It's an officer rank drive. Take the stimulants. They are your share. And the crystal? For you? So be it. Take it. At night, I pressed the crystal to my chest. It hurt. A sharp, tearing pain. But it was the only way to heal. The morning air was thick with the scent of stagnant rot. I sat up, my neck muscles screaming in protest, while the old hermit stood over his workbench. Don't scratch. Get up. We have 3 hours before the marsh seals reset. Why do we need to go into the marshes again? Is this really necessary? To test your talent, boy? And to see if you can finally spot the order's traps. Go ahead. Anything that seems too convenient is a trap. Stay sharp. Are you sure? This feels like a death sentence. The fog is clearing, not the air, but my sight. I see them. Crimson threads everywhere. Good. Don't freeze. Move smoothly, and keep your eyes on the patterns. Every step was a gamble. The mud clung to my boots like lead weights. The red threads pulsed, hungry for a mistake. Stop. Look there, in the reeds. It senses the crystal. Your fear is a beacon. Calm down, or we're dead. There's a strange glow under the willow roots. It's not red. Don't touch it. My fingers brushed the cold metal, and the world ignited in a flash of scarlet. Idiot. You've triggered the security circuit. Run. Don't look back. Jump over the hummocks. The crystal, it's burning my hand. I'm drawing it in. The crystal is drinking the mana. The red light faded, sucked into the box like smoke, as the crushing pressure of the traps vanished. I'm so sick of this. When will I ever have a normal life? Life above all. Tomorrow, we dissect what you've done. Recovery is going normally. Tissue integrity at 85%. But this energy background, it's still critically turbulent. Early. Get up. There will be no training today. Why? Did yesterday's show with the eraser knock us off schedule? Residual tension in your veins. Pushing energy today is impossible. We will observe instead. How do I keep a conversation going with this old man? His lectures are even worse than Zeno's. I noticed a discrepancy in your words yesterday. You said the crystal is empty. I said that it is not filled. To me, emptiness means absence of charge. But this stone, it remembers my methods, my safety nodes, my resistance bypasses. You see pure mechanics and magic. This is your main strength and your main vulnerability. It is an imprint of your personal programming scheme. You knew about this. Why didn't you warn me? It was convenient to use me, wasn't it? I lead you where you would have come anyway. If you don't hold up, you will die, or return as a rewritten construct of yourself. Tell me what that green glow under the willow roots was. Why are erasers roaming these swamps? The green radiance is incident zero. We tried to automate mana extraction, but a cascade resonance destroyed our laboratories and turned this region into a dump. Architect of the network, you created all this death and destruction. If everything you said is a lie, you're dead. Closing my eyes, I focused on the hum, the quiet vibration. Being part of a system is not only calculation. It is awareness. The grid unfolds. Energy pulses through my veins like data highways. I must stabilize the frequency before the resonance consumes my mind. Iron, do not close the resonance. Ephraim knows fear. Drink this, boy. It's bitter, but it will keep your mind from shattering under the pressure of these currents. My lord, Sector 7G. The dead marshes. We have a surge. The signature matches the alpha prototype exactly. Initiate, light of truth. Erase everything in a 5-mile radius. Bring me the defect alive. Destroy the old man. The marsh fell silent. The air grew heavy, thick with the metallic scent of ozone and the weight of an approaching storm. They found us. Their magic is weaving a search net over the entire region. I have to wake him now. The boy was trapped in the trance. Sparks danced around the crystal in his hands, threatening to overload his very nerves. Gasping for air, the pressure, it's like a hammer striking my chest. I can feel them coming for us. As the crystal in his pocket hummed with a final, desperate vibration, the hunt had truly begun. Damn, those scanning spheres. If only I still had that background analyzer the hunters issued me. How could I have lost it? Ephraim, do we run? The stone is pulsing, reacting to them. My hands won't obey. The toolbox, it's spilled. Everything is covered in mud. What are you doing to the hut? An alchemical veil. This will eat the mana and distort our traces. We'll blind their eyes for a while. The icy water is freezing. I can barely move, but we have to keep going. Careful, a bone golem. Don't let it see you. System. Sinking. I can see the vectors. I can see the mana nodes inside it. Found the impulse point. It's over. It's collapsing. But my head, it feels like it's exploding. Don't breathe. Another one is right above us. Stay in the silt. The crystal, it's vibrating. Why are there voices in my head? What are you saying? Now, run for the channel. Don't look back. I'll distract it. I can't feel my legs, but the spheres, they're closing the perimeter. I have to find the blind spot. Sorry, Ephraim. I have to trust this thing. Into the water. It's dark. Everything is shutting down. Is this the end? Ephraim. My voice was a pathetic wheeze. Under my wet jacket, the crystal pulsed like a wounded heart. Shut up. Just shut up. Toxic green system warnings blinked incessantly, corrupting my vision of the marsh. I crawled through the sharp sedge. The bog tried to suck me down into the cold abyss. How are you? I found him face down in the thorny raspberry thickets. His cloak was charred and burnt. Quiet, idiot. The hound dropped the seal of the scream. They are listening to every splash. What's with the crystal? It's talking to me. In Zeno's voice. What exactly did he say? Word for word. If we don't dump this energy, in an hour you'll be an empty shell. Is that what you want? I saw ghostly, glowing grids showing through the hummocks. The trails of burned ether left by the spheres. Ephraim is lying. He is your cage. What did you do to Zeno? If you don't shut up, I'll leave you here. Zeno is fragmented code. We stood before a massive sentinel obelisk, a tower of bone and iron with a rotating obsidian lens. Covenant of the shadow. I threw my mind open, directing the crystal's discharge at the tower. Silence. I collapsed into the slush, looking into a dirty puddle. But what I saw wasn't my own reflection. He is dead, Ephraim. I saw the flash. I felt his soul being ripped away. I couldn't intervene. Against Cain, I didn't stand a chance. All I could do was save what was left of him. You were always late, Ephraim. Remember the Citadel? I fought the overseers alone while you accidentally hid. I couldn't tell you, Zeno. You were too devoted to the cause. I needed the kid to replace you. You're both fools. One chose heroism, the other exile. Now I have to clean up this mess. Faster. The right tunnel. We need to drop the mountain on him. That's a dead zone, Iron. One wrong move, and we'll be crushed by the foundation. I won't give you the crystal, Ephraim, but I'll do this my own way. Resonance, active. Fall. Did we bury him? I think so. But stay alert. The node is close. Zeno, tell me more about the node. What is it exactly? It's the heart of the dead loop, where etheric currents of earth, wind, and static converge. Leave him, iron. The resonance will atomize him. He's too weak. He's right, kid. Go. Leave me behind. I don't throw away parts that can be fixed. We go together, or not at all. You're both mad, fine. But if we blow up, I'm saying I told you so. In the heart of the node, the air hummed with unstable power. Ephraim collapsed at the base of the spire, his shoulder a ruin of torn tissue and bone. I pushed myself to the limit, reaching for the crystal's volatile energy to stave off the impending silence. I had to stop the internal bleeding now, or the entire system would fail permanently. I jammed my fingers into the wound, welding the artery with a surge of static heat. There's never a dull moment with you. I focused on drawing hard, compressed threads of mana, sewing the shattered bone fragments together with cold, precise efficiency. As the resonance stabilized, the burning crystal in my chest finally began to cool. I slumped against the stone, hands trembling violently. I never thought you could be like this, Zeno. I needed answers. How could I make Zeno human again? The silence that followed was heavy, suffocating. The short answer, no way. Soul crystallization is a spell that trades biology for power. Thud. The sound echoed through the chamber, causing the floating rocks to tremble. Then, a deafening crash as the passage barrier shattered. The figure stepped forward. It was him. A broken, mechanical horror that shouldn't be standing, let alone fighting. You have to be kidding me. Is he still not dead? The creature's crimson visor locked onto us, static-filled mechanical growls resonating from his throat like a death sentence. Kid, we're out of mana. We're trapped. The interface flashed two escape routes in my mind. The technical shafts for sealing controls, or the abandoned mines to lose our trail. I looked down. There was a third way, a narrow, filthy drainpipe shaft. It was a risk, but it was our only chance. That's a drainpipe. That's spent, toxic mana down there. I yanked the grate open, the metal screaming under my grip. There was no time left. I shoved him in and jumped right after. As we fell, I saw the monster freeze at the edge, his red light pulsing in confusion. We hit the bottom, engulfed in the stench of rot and toxic waste. Alive? For now, seems so. Where did you drag us, kid? There's nothing here. Finally, at least for a little bit, I can be alone with my thoughts. System status, critical exhaustion. Energy reserve, for percent. Warning, muscle tissue degradation. Look, is that a pump? They found us. You don't have 5 minutes. Come on, move. The metal squealed. The century-old rust clicked like a gunshot. The flywheel turned. Yes. Energy, 1%. Critical systems degradation. Ephraim, the vial. If you drink it, Zeno will wake up. Synchronization restored. Sector analysis complete. We are in the zero cycle. Help me hack this lock. Break it. My skin. 5%, 20%, 50%. Reserve filling. Found you. So Vault wasn't lying. You are a very interesting subject. I saw someone. White uniform, porcelain hands, and instead of eyes, mirrors. Valerius, the head of the Mage Academy. Ephraim, hold on to the shaft. Jump. The iron pump deformed, and the toxic stream blasted them upwards toward the light. Critical error. Main channels overload. Reset. Reset. You idiot. I collapsed on all fours and vomited bile. The taste of mana was the worst thing imaginable. Get up. You hear me? I only hear water. But never mind that. We need to go higher. The skill flared in jagged flashes. Warning, magical poisoning detected, stage 2. System energy, 90% overcharge. Neural network stability, 14%. God, I just want to die, but I have to keep moving. Higher where, kid? We're at a dead end. The technical chamber was rapidly filling with glowing sludge. It had reached our ankles, and my boots started to smoke. There should be air inside. We'll be boiled alive in there. If we stay here, we'll dissolve in 5 minutes. I grabbed his good arm and dragged him toward the tank. Help me. Pull. The metal squealed, revealing a black void. I shoved Ephraim inside and dived in after him. Inside the tank, it was dark and cramped. We need to seal it. From the inside. With what? We don't have tools. What are you doing? That will destroy your nerve endings. Shut up. Just let me do this. Blinding white flame erupted from my fingers, melting the steel. Molten metal splashed onto my face, burning through my clothes. When the circle closed, I collapsed. Suddenly, we felt the tank get torn away from the wall. We started to rise, thrown against the sides. Iron, you're insane. We're in the main collector shaft. If the pressure doesn't drop, we'll be crushed. Ephraim, grab onto the struts. Tightly. Now. The tank shuddered from an internal explosion and shot upward. Will to live burned with a dim light. System energy, 2%. Near comatose state. Thank God we survived. Help me with this lid. I tumbled out of the tank onto a perfectly smooth, cold tiled floor. The hall was filled with strange structures resembling giant hourglasses, inside of which blue flames pulsed. We were in the inner ring, in the very heart of the Citadel's purification system. What the hell? Ephraim, what is this? Kid, what's wrong with you? Your hair, your eye? Welcome, Subject Alpha. V. Valerius? Don't try to get up. Ephraim. The world tilted. My body felt heavy, dragged down by an invisible weight. Your companion is safe. He's an interesting variable, but we aren't here for him. Look at yourself. You are a unique creature, resembling neither human nor monster. Not true. You believe your skill is destroying you. It's the sweetest lie you've planted in your mind. How do you know so much about me? Your entire path, starting from the dead swamps, was made by me. The Order's system is aging. We need a new principle, specifically yours. Give me access to the skill, and you will get everything. Laboratories, resources, and the old man will get freedom. You'll kill him the second I agree. He's lying. He wants to turn all of humanity into the exact same batteries as the acolytes. I need time. It's too much all at once. Reasonable. You have 1 hour. Enjoy. Ephraim, don't do it. When the lights go out, run to the tank. It's shielded. What about you? I don't give a shit. I've already died once. I need the access code. Sector 4G, frequency modulation 12.8. Use the energy in my arm to trigger a cascade resonance. A suicidal plan, but the only one left. I touch the contacts. The resonance began. My eyelids feel glued shut. The world is nothing but a gray blur. The floor turned to soot and filth. Error. Reboot. Critical degradation. Right manipulator deactivated. Energy at 0.6%. Iron breathe, damn it. The static field is dead and the doors are unlocked. We need to move now. Just leave me. I'm nothing but a burden to you in this state. Shut up. I didn't drag you through those swamps just to leave you here. Grab my neck with your left arm. Listen to that. If we don't clear this sector in 3 minutes, we are trapped here forever. Don't look at the bodies. Keep your eyes forward, kid. We won't make it. Look at that slab. It's already closing. There, to the right. In the niche, the emergency lockout lever. It's red. Pull it now. Crawl. Get under it before the cables snap. Where are we, Ephraim? My head. It's all blurring. Technical sector beta. Storage and disposal. If we're lucky, the ventilation shafts lead to the pit. For fuck's sake, just give us a break. Can't we catch a moment of silence? Shit. Richter's back. How did he track us this fast? You're right. We need a way out. Is the waste disposal area around the corner? Yes, but it's a 30-meter drop into the abyss. We might not survive it. It's useless to fight him. Jump, Ephraim. I'll hold him back for 3 seconds. Are you insane? I won't let you die here alone. Don't you dare die down there. I'll see you on the other side. You opened a door I couldn't crack for 300 years. Now, the real fun begins. Everything is cold. Slime. I can't move my right hand. Why is my body failing me like this? He lay face down in the filth, memory returning in jagged, painful fragments. Ephraim? Ephraim, where are you? Don't leave me alone in this nightmare. 10 minutes of digging through children's bones. There. You're alive, old man, but barely. Iron. Are we in hell? I can't lift this alone. I need a lever. If I break my arm now, it's all over. Pointless. Your efficiency is below 5%. You'll just break your remaining bones. The metal is screaming. Just a few more centimeters. Crawl out, Ephraim. Now. Those eyes in the dark. They're hungry. We call them zombies, Iron. Zombies? In this world, nothing surprises me anymore. Stay behind me. I won't let these things touch you. The air was split by a terrifying, rhythmic sound. Clang. Clang. It's Richter. He's tearing through them. We have to move now. A dead end? No. This wall, it feels warm. There's a hidden mechanism here. I'm sorry, Zeno. I understand the danger, but I choose to survive. Biometric key detected. Identification. Host 0. Access granted. Thank you, Object Alpha. You have no idea how difficult it was to guide you here. You're blowing this place up? There are thousands of people trapped in this sector. The timer is ticking down. 14 minutes left. I need to bypass this lock before everything goes critical. Richter is outside. He's breaking through the airlock. Damn it. Error 403. I can't lock it manually from here. The system is completely restricted. Ephraim, hide behind that shielded rack. If I fail to stop this, that might be the only place that survives the blast. And what will become of you, boy? I'm going to finish this. Just stay down. He reached the core. The heat was immense, a scorching wind of oil and ozone. He ripped the paneling away. Come on, damn it. Break, you piece of junk. With a deafening shriek of metal, the shaft tilted and shattered. The entire hull trembled, and white steam flooded the space. The timer froze. Silence filled the hall, except for the heavy thud of the airlock falling. Target. Destroy. Ephraim, My arm. Cut it. Now, before he gets closer. Ephraim, don't just stand there. Give me the crowbar and the pipe. Fast. No. No. I can't. There's no time. Hurry. You damn old man. I leaned back with all my weight. The pain was unbearable, but the skill suppressed most of it. I grabbed several sharp bolts and drove them into the flesh, then twisted them clockwise with all my strength. I lost consciousness several times, but I kept going anyway. With a final hack, I crushed the bone. I recoiled, hitting the hard floor as my ears rang like a bell. Iron. Hold on, hold on. Ack. Target. Confirmed. I'm here. Obstacle. Eliminate. The sword cut the air. Ephraim tried to block with the pipe, but was thrown back against the rack. Ephraim. I tried to scream, but only a wet, bloody cough came out. I had to find a way. My gaze darted around. Red light. Shadows. I saw a marking on a pipe. Fire suppression. Richter might be a cyborg, but he has lungs and a heart. Wait. End of cycle. Reboot, you bastard. I shorted the wires. A deafening pop, and jets of gas hissed from the ceiling. Error. Ventilation error. I grabbed a severed power cable and drove the bare end into the crack in his chest armor. Impressive. His brain is dead, but the hardware is intact. What do you want? The cable is so heavy. My hand. It's just raw, bleeding misery now. Faster, iron. The connection is unstable. I am losing integrity. Come on, you bastard. Click. Just stay in the socket. The moment the crystal clicked home, the constant, maddening whisper in my mind vanished. Silence. Iron. Why did you connect him? Do you know what you've unleashed? It's not him. It's something else now. Then, the body jerked. Steam hissed from the joints, and the heavy metal frame began to groan with life. Host damage level, 70%. Student damage level, critical. Does it hurt? Huh. I think I'm losing my mind. Ephraim, get up. We have 3 minutes before the system resets. The massive doors groaned, the metal screeching as the giant forced them apart with sheer strength. Inside, the capsule will protect us from the pressure. Where are we going? Outside. To the surface. What is that smell? It's sharp, almost like salt. The ocean. We made it. I opened my left eye. The right was stuck shut. The world was sideways, gray sky, gray sand, and a piece of death sticking out of the ground. Alive? Yeah, never been better. This is uncomfortable. Kid, tell me, is it him? That thing from your head. It's him, Ephraim. And yeah, I'm not scared one bit. Lie number 1 for the day. All right, so we need fire. Bring everything dry you find. We have no pots. No fuel except this rotten wood. What is the plan? Think. Shards of the enemy plates. They're concave. We build a distillery. Distillation on an open fire without a sealed system? Losses will be astronomical. I don't care about the losses. Just do it. It won't catch. There's no flint, just wet stone and rotten moss. Allow me. Since you're a jack of all trades, maybe you'll handle everything yourself? Just give me the water. We can't stay here. They are coming. Agreed. Passive sensors picking up vibrations. 8 objects, 3 kilometers east. Moving fast. Zeno, I need an arm. A physical one. Your tissues haven't healed. Implanting an interface now, you might die. I don't care. If they catch us, we're dead anyway. This way, at least I can fight back. Accepted. Ephraim, heat the blade. I'll need to make incisions to attach the leverage system. Do it. Make it count. I exhaled, a cloud of steam escaping my mouth. My right arm, or what was left of it, felt foreign, cold, and dead. Don't move. I've set the pins. The bone accepted the steel, but your nerves are protesting. This is normal. This is terrible. It feels like a trap of heavy metal and friction. I hate it. We worked with what we had. Pull your shoulder back. The tension transfers the force to the grip. Son, how are you? You were delirious for 2 days. I was so worried. I'm fine, Ephraim. I just need to focus. Are the seekers close? 40 minutes to the base. They have tracked us relentlessly through the mountains. Then we don't have long. Ephraim, bury the fire. Zeno, stand in the shadows. Come out. In the name of Valerius and the light. You have nowhere to hide, scum. Magically amplified. They're trying to smoke us out. Zeno, do you see the stalactite? Now. Vector reflection. Boom. The air expanded instantly, the pressure spiking until my ears rang and blood sprayed from my nose. Demon. Black magic. You are not human. What kind of damn black magic, you idiot? Yield, boy. The energy will punish you if you continue to struggle. Did we win? My body feels like it's falling apart. Ephraim, you're a mage, right? Why don't you use your magic? I know you know how. Yes, but my magic takes my life in exchange. I am out of artifacts. We need to keep moving. There's a village nearby where we can lay low until the hunters lose our trail. Fine. Let's go. I can't hold on much longer. Status, for percent. Entering hibernation mode in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Damn, why now? Quiet. Finally awake. You were gone again for a day, maybe more. Quiet. Shut up, Ephraim. Zeno, there are people. Demon. The iron devil has come for our souls. Out of the way. Back. Don't come closer, monster. Stop. We are not devils. We are fugitives. We only need warmth. Your mill. The main shaft is deformed. The teeth of the lower gear are worn down. Let us inside. I will fix your mechanism, and my companion will not harm you. Zeno, find some strong spirits. Iron, remember how I found you? Why do we only appreciate moments after they are gone? Mountain tear. Burns the throat so hard sparks fly from your eyes. Process complete. Surface temperature normalized. Bacterial load reduced by 80%. Awake, Iron. Your friend did more in one night than we have in 5 years. Yeah, he is very reliable. But may I ask your name? We have a couple of days. We need to fortify this place. Accepted. I already found sulfur and saltpeter. We will make gunpowder.